All right, let's talk about the real enemies of Wi-Fi. And I'm not talking about the network next door. I'm talking about the unseen culprits, the ones that hide in plain sight, right in your own office, and are silently waging war on your wireless performance. These are the everyday appliances that can bring a network to its knees. Now, before we really get into the weeds, I just want to set the stage. This is part 8 of a really deep 10-part series. It's all based on a super detailed report from the pros over at RFI Detectives, who are part of Virtualization Options LLC. So what we're covering today is straight from their fantastic work in Chapter 8. So we're not talking about your usual suspects today. You know, co-channel or adjacent channel interference. Nope. This is a whole different beast. These are the kinds of problems you just can't fix by hopping on your controller and changing a channel. These issues demand you get up, walk around, and hunt down the actual physical culprits. You know, when you're fighting an invisible enemy, you've got to have a way to see it. And for this job, your absolute best friend is this spectrum analyzer. Seriously, it's the only way you're going to visualize that raw RF energy getting blasted out by all these non-Wi-Fi devices and actually see the chaos they're creating. Of course, firing up your spectrum analyzer is one thing, but knowing what the heck you're looking at, that's the real skill, right? See, every one of these interfering appliances has its own unique RF fingerprint. Learning to spot these signatures is the key to finding your problem's source, and fast. So here are the big 3 silent network killers you'll run into all the time. Each one has a dead giveaway signature. A microwave oven, that thing is a brute. It's not subtle at all, just a massive wideband signal flooding everything right around 2.45 gigahertz. Bluetooth is more like an agile assassin. You'll see this machine gun pattern of quick, hopping signals jumping all over the band. And those old analog cameras, they're the stubborn sniper, just a continuous, narrow spike that sits on one frequency, causing constant, targeted trouble. Okay, so once you've identified the culprit, you don't always need some crazy, complex solution. In fact, that's what this playbook is all about. It lays out a simple, practical first response with effective, low-cost fixes you should always try first. And this really is the core of it, a simple 3-step hierarchy. First up, relocate. Can you just move the device? Sometimes just adding a few feet of distance is literally all it takes. Simple. If that's not going to work, then look to replace it. Can that ancient 2.4 gigahertz cordless phone finally get swapped out for a modern DECT model? And if neither of those are an option, can you reschedule its use? It's all about finding the simplest, most effective fix without overcomplicating things. Right, so fixing existing problems is obviously crucial. But what if we could stop them from ever even happening? This next bit is all about making that shift from being a reactive troubleshooter to being a proactive strategic advisor. And let me tell you, this is where you can provide massive value. Let's talk about one of the most powerful proactive moves you can make, championing wired connections for anything that doesn't move. I mean, think about it. Every single device we can plug in and take off the Wi-Fi is a huge double win. Not only does it remove a potential source of interference, but it also frees up precious airtime for the laptops and phones that actually need it. We're talking PoE cameras, networked printers, even those conference room displays. Going wired just gives you that rock-solid reliability. And this brings us to your role as the expert advisor. When the office is looking to buy new gear, your input is golden. You gotta guide them. Tell them to look for devices that use the 5 gigahertz band or 1.9 gigahertz DECT. Strongly advise them to just stop buying new 2.4 gigahertz only gadgets. And always push for dual band capabilities, so you have the flexibility to steer clients to that cleaner 5 gig spectrum. So when you boil it all down, what's the real principle here? It's about being efficient and effective in the field. It's about solving the problem in the smartest way possible, not always the most technically complex way. And you know, the source material just nails it with this quote. Often, simple approaches like relocating a microwave provide effective remediation at minimal cost. That's the key takeaway right there. Always exhaust the simple, practical options first. Master that, and you'll solve more problems, you'll solve them faster, and you'll save your organization a whole lot of money. So we've gone through the playbook, from spotting the culprits to being a proactive advisor. But we all know the real world is full of surprises. So I'll leave you with a question to chew on. What is the single most overlooked, most unexpected source of interference you have personally found out on a job? Think about that story, because those are the war stories that make us better at what we do.